Good evening. Keeping at-risk LGBTQ youth out of the streets and out of the juvenile justice system. The Santa Clara County of LGBTQ Affairs launches a new program. A pioneering activist from Sydney, Australia is one of the people featured in this upcoming film, and she's one of us. And we covered the 2018 San Francisco Pride celebration on this August 2018 edition of Outlook Video.
Good evening, and welcome to Outlook Video, your nationally recognized award-winning news magazine for the LGBT community. I'm Alice Heimsoth.
And I'm Raymond Donald Hong. We'll start tonight's program with Roberta Gonzalez-Gregg's interview with Maribel Martinez.
They'll be discussing the new Santa Clara County program to help struggling LGBT youth from falling into the juvenile justice system by launching the Support Out Project.
The Support Out Project will bring law enforcement, county agencies, community organizations, and schools together in a collaborative program focused on keeping our LGBTQ young people out of the juvenile justice system and empower them to live out and proud in their communities.
Yeah. One of us here at Outlook Video was one of the pioneering activists of the gay and lesbian rights movement in Sydney, Australia. And she's featured in an upcoming film. Roberta Gonzalez-Gregg has more details later in the half hour.
We'll also be showing you coverage of this year's San Francisco Pride Parade. Watch for Roberta dancing with one of the parade participants. I was told her arm was so sore from high-fiving everybody.
Oh.
We'll be with Maribel Martinez, but first, Roberta attends a recent immigration protest in San Mateo County.
Demonstrators crowded the streets of the Bay Area and across the U.S. Saturday, June 30th, calling for an end to Trump's uncaring policy of separating children and family members at the border. I love the diversity and welcoming aspects of our country, and I don't want to see those eroded, a Berkeley resident who immigrated 11 years ago was quoted as saying at one demonstration. America's core struggle has been one of inclusive, not exclusive, for all people of all ethnicities, genders, and orientations. Those demonstrations prove that in the inclusiveness of the participants and their supporters. Bring us your huddled masses, begging to be free. The Statue of Liberty reminds us when welcoming all to her shores. Since establishing the Department of LGBTQ Affairs in January of 2016, this Santa Clara office, introduced by Supervisor Ken Yeager, has been focusing on ways to best serve the LGBTQ community. In that spirit, this year the department has established the program Support Out. Returning to Outlook Video to share the details of this important program is Maribel Martinez, Director of the Department of LGBTQ Affairs. Welcome back, Maribel.
Thank you for having me.
Sorry about that little flub up there. Sometimes we have just too many letters, I think. Okay. Now, your program, your whole department was just a year old, basically a year now, almost 2 years old, but it didn't start with this specific program in mind. So how did this program come to be?
Sure. So we started in January of 2016, and our very first job was to really know the county, to listen to the departments, to the community, and find out from our community here what were the biggest issues that they were facing.
Makes sense, yes.
So after that, we also have been working on building our team and really focusing and narrowing in on what we could do to support the most vulnerable communities. So the work has been from that, learning from those conversations. We're in the process of opening a gender specialty clinic through VMC because we know that there's a lot of services that are needed for our transgender community.
Indeed, yes.
We're doing some research around the needs for seniors. And the other big support is to families with the Family Acceptance Project out of San Francisco State. And then we started looking at some of the data that was coming out. So last year, there was a report from Dr. Angela Irvine and Impact Justice and National Center for Lesbian Rights that said some really startling news. So
Startling, in what sense?
It counted, actually, the first time that we were taking SOGI data, sexual orientation, gender identity, expression data, of the youth who were involved in juvenile justice, those who were on probation, who were at juvenile hall, or any other detention programs. And what we learned is that overall in the state of California, about 20% of all kids were either LGBT or gender nonconforming.
So there's the difference in the general population.
Yes.
Because, juveniles, kids get into mischief, and sometimes it can be things can be against the law. But it's even more so in the LGBTQ community.
Yes. So what we would expect to see is the same number, right, out in the general population. And so what that says is that they're at a higher and disproportionate level representation in juvenile justice. And then when we looked a little bit deeper and looked at the kids who were in boys' detention centers and girls' detention centers, what we learned is that over 50% of the kids in girls' detention centers were lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or gender nonconforming.
50%.
50%. That's what the data is saying.
My goodness, my goodness. So this project, it aims to address the unique challenges focused by the justice with the youth. Now, how does what happens with this group in particular, and with the program?
So to tackle this issue, we took a group of colleagues from all different areas of the county, from probation, from behavioral health, from child welfare, from our office, and from the DA's office, from the public defender's office, all the areas of the county that interface with a youth or a family going through a juvenile justice proceeding. And we spent a week studying at Georgetown University at the Center for Juvenile Justice Reform. And we came back and thought about what were the ways that we as a county could better support young people and their families. And we thought of Support Out. We want to support them out of the system, support them out of detention, and support them in being out and being happy and expressing their full self.
That's great. One of the things that I find almost discouraging is when people tell you, oh, get over it, whatever that it may be. But I think better yet is get through it. And the Support Out seems to be helping people get through these things.
Yes, so we're focusing, this first kind of round, are focusing on the 3 zip codes where we have the most incidences of arrests and juvenile justice activities. So those are 1 in Gilroy in 95020 and 2 in East San Jose, 95122 and 95127. And what we're actually asking the organizations, the nonprofit organizations, community organizations, and even our government organizations, our resource centers, to do an LGBTQ assessment.
Excellent.
So it's a 10-question assessment. We're asking them to fill out how LGBTQ supportive or ready they are. We're going to take all of that data, create a customized Santa Clara County toolkit to hand back to those organizations to support them in supporting our youth.
Oh, this is fantastic. This is wonderful work, and much needed in our times, but especially for our youth. I mean, these are our future, and this is what we want to support. So thank you so much for being on the show and telling us all about this. We look forward to hear more from you once you get all these things, all this data. You come back and tell us what you find.
We might do a toolkit reveal on the show and show you all of the great things that we have.
Excellent. Well, if you want to get some more information, take a look at your TV right now, and there's a website as well as a telephone number. So again, thank you so very much for joining us. We look forward to the end process, but we absolutely think it's fabulous about what you're doing. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
I'm Thomas Roberts, and you're watching Outlook TV.
This year's San Francisco International LGBTQ Film Festival, aka Frameline, featured films from around the world of the LGBTQ rights movement. Sydney, Australia started theirs in the late 70s. One of their pioneering activists was one of the characters in this new film that she happens to also be one of us here at Outlook Video. She is important to local activist Billy DeFrank LGBTQ Community Center's board president, Gabrielle Antolovich. This film chronicles the 8 years of political activism to Sydney's first Mardi Gras, which turned into a riot. Welcome to this side of the interview set, Gabrielle.
Thank you. I want to say our activist movement started in 1969 when Stonewall happened in America, and so it exploded globally, and we were the ones that started the first gay movement in Sydney.
So when you were living in Sydney at the time, and you were very much an activist then, so that such as it being portrayed in the movie as well. So this was quite influenced by the activism happening in San Francisco?
Well, no, it was Stonewall was in New York, and when that exploded, it happened everywhere around the world, including Sydney. So we came out of the closet, and what happened is in 1970, we were on, 4 of us were on the first national TV show on homosexuality. And one of our people was the secretary of an Anglican church, and he got fired for being openly gay in the film. And so we did all these demonstrations, and there was a national discussion about churches and religion and homosexuality. It created a huge national debate, and it flared up, you know, more activism because people were very upset that he lost his job for being openly gay.
Yes, I would imagine.
And that
so.
was produced by the ABC. So they felt really bad that this happened. So they helped with the gay movement and made sure that it was on TV and, you know, our outrage that this happened.
Oh, so you were very much a part of it then.
Oh yeah,
and
I was in it.
You were in the thick of it, huh?
I was in that first movie on Checkerboard. Yeah, in 1970. And then when that flared up, we also, like in America, were fighting to have the Psychiatric Association take homosexuality off as an illness, and the Psychology Society to take it off as an illness as well, which happened in 1972 and 1974. So I was part of that too.
Wow. So fast forward just a little bit. Just last year, Australia legalized same-sex marriage.
Well, you know,
but that was been a build-up, yes?
No. Australia is a whole different world. We have nationalized medicine. We have, and also de facto relationships, whether they're, you know, same-sex or opposite sex, have always been, you know, recognized. So if you live together with someone, it is then eventually after a certain amount of time seen as a de facto relationship. So you have all the rights that married couples have. So it was never a big deal. In fact, domestic partnership started in 2003. And so what happened, just so that you know why it became a big issue, is because marriage in Australia was never defined as a man and a woman until some conservative in Parliament decided to change it, and that's when we were upset. And so that's when it went to the people, and the people said, no, we should have gay marriage recognized. And it really upset the conservatives.
Oh my goodness.
So that's what happened, you know?
Yes. So it's not real, it's somewhat parallel movements, but on a different, not quite, not even parallel movement, but parallel in the sense of rights being recognized.
No, we had rights.
You had them to begin with.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why you can't translate the American what happened here, and you know, we are a whole nother country that had we all have had so many rights that it was never urgent to get married until the parliamentarians said.
Is this explained in the movie Riot? Is that part, as part of the explanation?
Because that
was
happened
afterwards.
after.
Okay.
The movie Riot starts off in 1970 when we were in the first movie, Checkerboard, and then it chronicles through the years until 1978, which was the first Mardi Gras where it turned into a riot. That is what the film is about. You know, the gay marriage thing happened in 2017.
Exactly.
Many years later.
Yes, that's as I said earlier. What part of the film did you like the best? Or what did you like about the film?
What was interesting is, you know, the internal political battles. I don't know how the filmmakers did it, but they got it. They got all the bickering between the lesbians, the gay men, between the revolution and the reformists, and you know, how to do things, and the frustrations we had with each other. Should we try and work within the system or change the system? And it was so well portrayed. And the other thing they did was they made sure that there was equal value and time on a gay men's issue, which was, you know, the legalizing of gay men's sex, and also the other issue that lesbians were fighting is custody of their children and not having their lesbianism used as a custody battle.
Okay.
And that was equally portrayed in the film. I was like really happy about that.
Well, for those of you who, and thank you for joining us and being your years of activism in Sydney and now here in San Jose. Riot is from the Warner Film Productions. Look for it in theaters in the coming year. You're watching Outlook Video.
Let's get this party started! We too will parade on the street!
Oh, I'm glad you...
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, down with church hypocrisy!
Now we need to present an agreed position of the gay and lesbian community. Can we start with decriminalisation?
We should be running openly gay candidates in elections. We should be visiting more churches.
I'm not really political.
Just being here with me is political.
Stop police attacks on gays, women and blacks! Stop police attacks!
You must have done something to antagonize them. Police don't just arrest people out of the blue.
Divorce papers came. They've subpoenaed both of us.
And surely the court keeps kids with their mother.
Oh, with their lesbian mother.
The police raided my surgery today.
If we go to court and we lie, we just agree it's something to be ashamed of.
Personally, I am sympathetic, but you need to demonstrate that the wider community supports change.
We should be overthrowing the government. Surely we can do both. We can have law reform and the revolution. How?
I think we should have a street party. We're going to close down Oxford Street and have a riot of colour and fun.
Jim, what? We're going to have a Mardi Gras.
Some people have fallen.
Is everyone enjoying the Mardi Gras? Around the world, the fight is on.
I've been tired, switching off my mind.
We love to get mail from you. Email us at comments@outlookvideo.org.
To contact us by phone, call 408-293-3040, extension 205.
Visit our website at outlookvideo.org.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/outlookvideo.
And connect with us at facebook.com/outlookvideo.
doing well. How nice to see you.
It's good to see you.
Oh, excellent. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all you're doing in Congress.
It's so good to be here.
Oh, yeah. Good. Welcome here. What do you have to say about this year's theme, the Generations of Strength?
It's exactly right. And we have to take strength and know that we stand on very broad, strong shoulders that have been fighting for the best of who we are as a country for generations.
Excellent.
And it is through those struggles and through those fights that we are at a place where we know that we have to just keep going. We have to endure. And because we're better than this. And especially those who are trying to sow hate and division, we're going to reject that because we know we have more in common than what separates us.
Oh, thank you for those words.
Yes.
What does this mean to you?
Oh, it's what it means to us.
Yes.
You know, any opportunity for us to use any position of power, of privilege, of decision-making power, thank you, honey, to make sure that the people on the margins have a voice. That's what we should be doing in 2018 and 2019 and 2020. And we need to make sure that QTPOC leadership is respected and given a fair seat at the table. And this is what this looked like today. I had an opportunity that was voted by the community, which is amazing. They said it was an international community to be able to do this work that I do sort of behind the scenes up front, and this is what I do.
That's terrific.
There are like 25 to 30 different organizations marching with us today. Everyone from the Ella Baker Center to the Oakland LGBTQ Center to Regina's Door to Missy to it just goes on and on. And so this is what it looks like when you have people who are marginalized, who are of color, who are trans, making decisions about the entire community because we know how to love everyone.
That's our program for this month. You can watch extended versions of our segments and archive past programs on Outlook Video's YouTube channel at youtube.com/OutlookVideo. Outlook Video, and be sure to click on the subscribe button.
And friend us on Facebook at facebook.com/OutlookVideo. This program is made possible by generous donations from viewers like you and talented volunteers behind the camera, whose names you'll see as we close.
From all of us here at Outlook Video, thank you for watching us, and we'll see you next month.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
We keep trying to talk about us. I'm